Hey, this is Granular Heaven, and since I've fielded a few questions about the usefulness of different types of defensive towers, ziggurats, and whatnot, I figured I would answer some questions on them. We would compare a little bit of usefulness. Alright, now the first thing we are going to start with are regular towers. This is a max upgraded tower. Now, the max upgraded tower, level 11, 950 points of health, 78 points of damage. It only hits ground units. You need to keep that in mind. And the damage is minimal. I know that when you combine them, that the damage is all right. But I mean, okay, comparing to something different. Let's say you want to know if you should save that extra funding and upgrade your ziggurat instead. Alright, well, the level 7 ziggurat does 88 points of splash damage hitting effective targets in a range, and they still have 2 levels of upgrade. Now, am I saying not to upgrade your towers? No, not at all. I'm just saying prioritize. Next are the archer towers. One thing about archer towers is that they hit eagles, and they can also hit ground units. They max out at 830 health, doing 71 points of damage per second. They hit the nearest target. Now, they do not do enough damage to really matter when you're getting into the whole defend yourself from eagles debate. And when I'm saying that, let's say comparatively, okay, your 71 points of damage. If we took all 5 towers, I believe there's 5. If we took all 5, it would do the same amount of damage as one level 7 spire. So they can do some damage, but they don't do splash damage. Like I said, they can target one thing, so they'd all have to be hitting it. I mean, you can pick away at an army, but again, prioritize. Right, next we have cannons. Cannons are very useful for a number of reasons. This is a maxed out cannon, so it's 720 health, 67 points of damage. Now, this is splash damage. It only hits ground targets, but it has a long effective range. It doesn't hit near targets. What it really does is attract people's spells. People are more likely going to hit it because they're going to use some kind of ground unit. Now, when they do that, the upgrades, what comes in handy, like a level 11, unless somebody has a really high level spells, level 10 and 11, they're going to take 2 lightning shots. So you really absorb, the more spells you absorb when they attack, the more likely you are to have some guns remaining. Alright, let's move on. Now, we're going to talk about the Storm Spire. This is not a maxed out Storm Spire. It still has 1 level. Now, if you look at the cost on these things when they get up higher levels, 10 million, you're talking 10 days of upgrade, so it's kind of crazy. Now, we'll talk about looting strategies a little bit later on in another video, but really, when you get up to higher level, you're not going to be able to hold that kind of money unless you do certain things to keep it. Now, one of the things with the 8th level tower, it's going to do 475 points of damage per second, which is pretty good. It has 1,270 hit points. Now, they actually start to upgrade at level 10 castle, so that's actually pretty helpful too. Now, moving on, we are going to look at the ziggurat. Now, the ziggurats are actually very useful. Like, they're something that I particularly find. I find people will skip you because the higher level ziggurats, they look intimidating. Now, especially when you get into the level 8s where they start having chains on them, and the level 9s. Now, they do a lot of damage. It's splash damage. I mean, it's heavy damage, so it's good. They have a decent range. We're not going to talk a great range, but attack range of 7 is pretty good. Not many things can sneak up on them without getting zapped. Now, the max out, it has 150 damage points per second. Hit points are 960, so it's a pretty effective beast. It costs 15 million coins to upgrade that far, and it takes 10 days. So it's kind of an investment of time and resources. You know, if you look at these and you look at what they sell resources for, let's just look at it that way. Okay, we're saying 15 million. Now this is going to take a second, but okay, you have to excuse me. I'm just trying to make a point here. All right, say you need, here's 12 million for 640 gems. I'm not saying to buy these upgrades. Do not buy upgrades, but they're trying to value this out at over $20. So, I mean, you get the point there, I'm sure. Now, Tower of Fire. Tower of Fire are very deceptive. They are good against tanks, especially. You know, you have an int, Tower of Fire locks in on it. It'll eat it up pretty fast. They max out at a level 5, so this thing has one more level. Again, you see it's a 16 million upgrade. The damage on the max out will be 420 damage per second, 1600 hit points. They take 10 days again, so you're talking expensive. They have a attack range of 12, which, you know, that's another 5 on top of the ziggurat. One thing people mess up on, they think they have towers of fire, they think they're good to go, and they are against certain types of enemies. But when, say, someone like myself comes in and uses 400 ground troops, okay, this thing selects one target at a time. So it's ineffective against large numbers. I mean, it'll kill one, then one, then one. You watch one when somebody attacks you that way. It's kind of interesting. All right. Now, next thing we have is a Tower of Death. The Tower of Death has a short range for a big tower. It's costly. You know, it clocks in at 14 million for initially getting level 1. It only goes up to level 2, so you can see the stats there. They're going to be 2100 hit points, 450 damage per second. They hit hard. They hit things that come near them. Really, they're weak when it comes to ground targets sneaking up on them, and, you know, like archers can hit them, and a little clump of archers can do a lot of damage to it pretty fast. Like I've seen people defend them with a ziggurat, and sometimes that works out a lot better than you would think. Okay, now let's talk briefly on walls. Walls are one of the more frustrating things in this game. I left a few not upgraded very far because I want to make a point with them. Okay, level 6 wall. Right, if we're going to upgrade this level 6 wall, you notice 2200 hit point. I mean, that's not a lot for level 6. They fall pretty fast. Now when we get up to, I don't think I have any level 7s. Let me see, let's just upgrade it. Okay, the level 7, you know, when you're talking 31 hit points, it's not, again, a lot. It's really, I don't even like walls until they get to level 9, because when you're looking at higher number troops, well, now walls are ineffective totally against air troops. That's one of the problems with this game, period, is you don't have enough stuff to stop eagles. But against ground troops will go in and they will find your weakest wall. Like, say if I left one of these out here, you know, the ground troops, they would swarm in and then they'll go to the weakest wall that they find and they'll try to knock their way in. And sometimes they're really unpredictable about what they do. Okay, now these the level 10 walls, you know, you're getting into a higher cost. You're talking $1 million per wall, but you get up to 6,800 points. And then the max walls, they're $2 million per wall. You're talking 8,400 hit points. So that's actually pretty nice. All right, I believe I've covered everything in this video. If you have any questions on anything we covered here, or you would like to cover another topic, please let me know. And I'm including another really good YouTuber and his link on the comments. And again, I don't make a lot of these videos to help people, but I'm going to try to make a few because I see a lot of bad advice out there. All right, this is Granular Heaven signing off. Thanks.